Wait a minute, before I start, what extra spots?
Yeah, apparently they just dropped that on us because Howard didn't take a last break.
Yeah.
Those spots have to be
What do you mean
played.
he didn't take a last break?
Well, he didn't take a break for over an hour, Robert said, so we'd have to play some spots.
We got to make up Howard's spots, apparently.
You've got to be kidding me.
So
I guess we better start doing it now. What a nice show.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 WQAM.
Another break already?
Ivan's going bye-bye, thank the Lord. And pretty soon we will be, too.
If you live on the coast, your house will soon be toast. Hurricane.
I'm dying over here.
You know that you should get some plywood. Hurricane. Nail it up, nail it up, nail it up.
Oh!
Hurricane. If you choose to stay, then you must be insane. Hurricane. You wish the trailer park was more like Noah's Ark. Hurricane. Better run, better run, better run. Hurricane. The only guy on the beach is the Weather Channel geek. Hurricane. He says people should leave while he's alive on the scene. Hurricane. He is nuts, he is nuts, he is nuts.
Oh!
Hurricane.
So let me ask you, what do you guys think? Should we take any more breaks today, or is what we're doing here a lot more important than putting spots on here? Don't you think?
Nothing's more important than putting spots on you.
No, seriously, stop and think about that. I mean, you know, I'm all excited about the fact that we have a much shorter show every day now, especially on days when we got a Marlin game like today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today, that's right, today and tomorrow. Marlins on deck at 1:30. The Montreal Expos against the Marlins at, Josh?
U.S. Cellular.
Oh. Well, we were both full of crap on Friday. I looked it up, and I was sure it wasn't Comiskey Park anymore, but Josh had me convinced on the Internet. It still says Comiskey Park somewhere. But then again, if you look on the Internet for anything, you'll find it, especially if it's wrong. U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, a neutral site after the Marlins bombed the crap out of the Cubs. It was 11-1 yesterday, I believe, yes.
That's right.
Then we got Mo Howard Davided from after the ball game till 7 o'clock tonight, the departing Mo. Possibly. Well, he's going to need a lot of rehab anyway. He's going to need a lot of time after the Dolphin season really gets going here.
Oh, like he cares.
Oh, man, what did I tell you? Are they going to suck or what?
Yes.
They have no quarterback. They got no running back. They can't basically score any points is what it boils down to. So it's not too easy to win any games when you can't score any points. But nevertheless, I don't want to pick on those poor Dolphin fans. Yeah, we got a shot, especially now that the assault band rifle is ending today. Get your Uzi. Get your AK-47. Get your ghetto blaster. Oh, sorry. Mo Howard David after the game till 7. We got the big at 7. Eddie K at 10 o'clock. That's our schedule for today so far. And it still has question marks in the afternoon, Wednesday through Friday this week. So maybe, just maybe, the Humper might return. This could be the week.
That was fun.
But we have no idea. So I'm a little bit off my feed right at the moment because you're telling me that, see, I just don't get it. I mean, it's one thing to go on and on and on and on, 4.5 hours, 5 hours, 5.25 hours, because you're so great and because the whole world needs more and more of you, you know, which Stern does every day. That's one thing. But when you don't take any commercial breaks, I mean, what's the point? What's the benefit? What is the deal?
Right. And what about those people that bought Stern spots? You know,
screw them. See, with them, it's just the opposite of us. We want the money. Just give us the effing money, and we'll get the spots on come hell or high water, no matter what else we've got on the air, and that's all that's important. So my question to you is, since they went an hour with no spots, no breaks, we don't have any more availability. In fact, I sneaked in that first break there out of the kindness of my heart so that they wouldn't be crying and crying, carrying on like, but we got no more, there's no more room to at the end. And I thought you were telling me that Robert was going to be playing our spots, so you guys can't get your signal straightened out there.
Well, they were going to, but then they didn't take that break.
Yeah. So what do they need to play our spots for?
They didn't. We need to play theirs now because they didn't take that break.
But we have no way to play their spots. There's no more room.
They said we'd have longer breaks.
I beg your pardon?
That's what Robert said.
No, we don't have longer breaks. We don't do 5-minute breaks on this show. I hate to break the news to you boys. See, it's one thing. See, right now, this could be a very interesting day on WQAM because we're not going to be running 20 minutes of spots an hour on this show, okay? It ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And the fact that they bought themselves into a show that has the most, I wouldn't say bizarre format, they don't have any format.
No format.
That's Greg Reed's problem, okay? I mean, you talk about chutzpah, this guy saying, well, we're really paying Neil to do 4 hours. Neil's very happy to do 4 hours, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's the time the Neil Rogers show runs. So the fact that he contracted for another show that runs way over into this show every day just about, that's his problem. I'm here prepared to do 4 hours every single day. But I'm not prepared to, whore this show, and I've already made it very clear to them, so that we'd have nothing but spots and no show, because Stern is so important that we don't have any commercial breaks. That ain't going to happen. So you're telling me that they came in and they made those breaks all 5-minute breaks?
Nobody has come in yet.
Well, guess what? And they might just as well not, because it ain't going to happen. Trust me when I tell you. Anyway, Hurricane Ivan back up to a Category 5. It chugged toward far western Cuba early today, scouring the Caribbean. The new coordinates, by the way, 20.6 north, 84.4 west, still 160-mile-an-hour winds. Strong Category 5, dangerous. Oh, my God. But not for South Florida, not even for the West Coast. Panhandle, and they were just showing on CNN that they were way down Pensacola, some other places in the Panhandle, way down on rain this year. So probably the good Lord, the same good Lord that's killing a lot of people who just can't get out of the hurricane's way, he saw that they had a drought up there so far this year, and he said, well, let me just get out of your way because you've had enough grief the last few weeks, and I'll go up there and kind of sprinkle some on them, kind of spread it around. And probably a few more people will die and stuff like that, but in the meantime, he'll be watering the lawn, making the trees grow, all them nice little flowers, stuff like that, right?
Right.
So anyway, the 11 o'clock tracking map will be down any time now. Oh, and also Spencer out there. Now, I gave Spencer a little poo-poo there on Friday, which he seemed to enjoy. But, that website that he faxed after the show, I did watch it, and I was so impressed by it about that 757 that allegedly struck the Pentagon.
Right.
And they haven't found a shred of that plane. It must have just evaporated.
We kept hearing about that right after, and I didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah, well, I thought that was more that conspiracy theory stuff, but I watched that, and so I had Eric put a link on there. And I can't get it to play on my computer for some strange reason, but George did, and everybody else seems to be able to. It downloads okay.
Thing,
that little, huh?
Saw the whole thing, and you're right, quite riveting.
Yes, so you probably want to take a look at that, the 9/11 Pentagon strike on NeilRogers.com, along with our beaded curtain today, who is Jade Barrymore. She's a little on the jaded side. Jade Barrymore, born May 8, 1946, in Brandenburg, West Germany. She's the mother of Drew Barrymore, for reference point.
Yes.
I got to be honest with you. I mean, of course, I never heard of a lot of people, because I'm a stuffy old fart. But I never heard of Jade Barrymore. Am I jaded or what?
I don't think she's famous for anything other than being married to the family.
She made a few films.
Did she?
The Lucky Ones, 2003, Funny Valentine,
Well.
Big Apple, The Wedding, Directing Eddie, He Ought to Be Committed.
I ain't seen none of them.
Now it says here He Ought to Be Committed. Is that really the name of the movie?
Never heard of it.
Glam Trash, The Stand-In, The Last Days of Disco.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, never saw it.
1998. Enchanted, Silent Prey, Inevitable Great, and a bunch of other stuff. So Jade Barrymore is on our website today, the mother of Drew Barrymore, and luckily that's an old picture.
I think we got her best work on the website right now.
Is that? That's about as good as it gets with Jade. Anyway, we got a whole lot of spots to do here. Like I said, if they come in and try to add any more spots, I'm just telling you right now, okay, that's the directive. If they want this show to continue, at least with me on it, there ain't going to be 5-minute breaks in that next hour. Once in a great while to accommodate them, we do that. It's not bad enough in the 1 o'clock hour that we got 3-4-minute breaks in there. So at 1 o'clock, you folks that don't care about the Marlins, you can go fishing or something.
Oh, come on.
Go to the beach or go do anything else. Huh?
Who doesn't care about the Marlins?
Oh, I forgot. 10:57 at 560 WQAM. Right now, Armstrong Ford of Homestead wants to clear their lots and sell off all remaining 04s. And here are just some of the great deals they have waiting on you. An 04 F-150 pickup, just $1 over invoice. New 04 Explorers, just $1 over invoice. Rangers, Crown Vics, Tauruses, and Focuses all waiting for you at just $1 over invoice only at Armstrong Ford of Homestead. Plus, Armstrong Ford offers more value to its loyal customers. When you buy a Ford from Armstrong Ford, you'll get their exclusive Tires and Batteries for Life program. That's right, Tires and Batteries for Life. The value you get at Armstrong Ford doesn't stop there either. Right now, you'll get a free Florida Sun Pass with any vehicle you buy. If you're pressed for time, like we are, Armstrong Ford knows your time is valuable, so call them at 305-247-5112 and shop right over the phone. They'll even deliver that new car or truck or whatever right to your door. Armstrong Ford of Homestead, locally owned and operated. They treat you just like family, and I guarantee you, I'll bet you Greg Reed's life on it, and I'll even throw in Robin Quivers. You won't get a better deal on a Ford anywhere, no way, no how. No bait and switch, no phony deals, just the best deals going anywhere. Armstrong Ford of Homestead, you'll find them at 30725 South Dixie Highway, 20 minutes south of the 836. Check out the web, armstrongcars.com, and then drive you a little and save a ton on that new Ford only at Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Rogers got.
Another break already?
Absolutely.
I'm dying over here.
Start watching Fox News. They're live every day. 'Cause every last Republican is in New York. All those right-wing dudes with hair that is gray. They say they want George Bush again. New York, New York. Don't want to shake up down in Washington, D.C. Because the best president is still Dick Cheney.
Abu Ghraib.
They'll see how much booze they can drink in 4 days. Now that the grand old party's here in old New York, Bush is the Big Apple's friend. If you don't count Harlem, but he's still here. New York, New York, New York.
11:04 at 560 WQAM. We're very rushed, so we got to hurry, station. Marlin pregame at 1:30. We got a lot of spots to play. No, we don't. I mean, just stop and think about how ridiculous this is. See, Greg Reed once again sticking his foot way up inside his ass, and even the proctologist can't get it out. He just can't stop diddling around, man, with this radio station. And now he's got himself into a real jackpot. Because now, not only did they lose the spots in the first half hour of this hour, which this highly rated tender, well, the last hour, but also the spots that they were going to play on that highly rated Howard Stern show. Well, if you don't feel like taking a break, they don't get to run them anywhere. See what I'm saying? I got a good idea. Run them overnight when everybody's asleep. And then you can always say, well, we ran them.
Right, there you go.
You got to pay us because we ran your spots. Not necessarily in the show you wanted or at the time you wanted or when anybody was awake and listening, but we ran them. Pay us or else. Speaking of that, now the reason I just played that, guess who died?
Frank Sinatra.
Close. You never heard of this guy, Fred Ebb. Remember Ebb Tide?
No.
Well, he had nothing to do with that. He wrote the lyrics for such hit Broadway musicals as Chicago and Cabaret, as well as the big city anthem, New York, New York. Died of a heart attack. He died Saturday at his home, said Dave McCowan, an assistant to composer John Kander. No relation to Jamie McCowan, who used to play for the Leafs. Ebb's longtime collaborator. By the way, speaking of the Leafs, no hockey seasons, almost 99 and 99.99%. The lyricist was believed to be 76, although Ebb always was sweetly vague about his age. He wrote the scores for 11 Broadway musicals, many of them for such leading ladies as Gwen Verdon, Cheetah Rivera, Liza Minnelli, and Lauren Bacall. Yeah, it goes on. Well, he's an old fart. Nobody ever heard him. But anyway, he wrote that. Everybody knows that song, right? Right. Da-da-da-da-da. 2,310 votes on that poll over the weekend, regardless of your choice. Right now, who do you think will win the election? Who's going to win it? Not who you like, but who do you think is going to win? 2,300 plus votes. Bush 980. 42.4%, Kerry 903, 39%. So even among this very, very pro-Kerry audience, and he's just aggravating the hell out of me because just now he's like, well, you know that chia pet thing?
Yeah.
Where you water it and all of a sudden it starts sprouting and growing. I think they're watering his privates.
Okay. And
I was going to say nuts, but I'm sure that We can't say that. Call up, what's her name?
Lindy?
What's her name again on the West Coast?
Oh, Joyce.
Yeah, call up Joyce, see if we can say nuts. Nuts to you, Joyce, you stupid bitch. Anyway, he's just too slow and they're starting to do things now they should have been doing at the convention and immediately following convention by ripping Bush an ass about all these lies, but in the meantime, maybe too late. Anyway, 980 to 903, Bush, we thinks he's going to win. Don't know 323 and don't give a Schmidt 104. That's the poll from over the weekend from Friday. Now, today's poll, and I'm sure that we can add to this, which people, ethnic, religious, or whatever, treat women the worst?
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you. I'm amazed as I travel in various places that I've been in Europe and around. I just can't believe how crappily women are continuing to be treated.
Sure.
Like garbage.
Right.
Anyway, here's the short list that we got so far. Muslims, Orthodox Jews,
Oi!
Italians, blacks, or the Catholic Church. Which group, ethnic, religious, whatever, treats women the worst, the most shabbily, like 10th class citizens? I'm sure you can add to that. Okay, here's the 11 a.m. advisory on Hurricane Ivan. And how come, like you said before the show today, how come none of those projected tracks, those models, showed it going right straight toward the Yucatan Peninsula,
right.
Which is
the obvious choice. The direction
it's right on it right
going.
now. It's on it.
Yeah.
Extremely dangerous. Not just dangerous, but extremely
my God.
dangerous. But not for you folks, thank the Lord. Thank goodness, thank
Ew, good.
Category 5 Ivan heading toward western Cuba and the Yucatan Channel, which I think on your TV is like 23. Or is it 51?
69.
A hurricane warning remains in effect for Cuba from Pinar del Rio to Ciego de Avila, including the Isle of Ute. A hurricane warning means that hurricane conditions are expected within the warning area within the next 24 hours. Preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion, just like the fine job that somebody did on those shutters on my house. Not that didn't call, that didn't show up, just did a fine job on Saturday. Not. A hurricane watch remains in effect for the rest of Cuba. Hurricane warning. I can't wait for Adam to come in and say, hey, you want to do some spots for these guys?
No.
Right. Anyway, at 11 o'clock this morning, the government of the Cayman Islands discontinued all warnings for all the Cayman Islands. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for the Florida Keys from the 7-mile bridge westward to the dry Tortugas. Hurricane watches may be required for portions of the north central and northeastern Gulf of Mexico coast later today or night. At 11 o'clock this morning, center of Hurricane Ivan located near latitude 20.6 north, longitude 84.4 west, or some people say longitude. I have no idea why they say that. Or about 85 miles south-southeast of the western tip of Cuba, just west of that Cuban tip. Ivan is moving toward the northwest at about 8 miles an hour. This general motion is expected for the next 24 hours toward the northwest. Maximum sustained winds near 160 miles an hour.
Oh, my God.
With higher gusts. Some fluctuations in strength expected during the next 24 hours. During the past few hours, Sand Key and the lower Florida Keys reported a sustained wind of 41 miles an hour with a gust of 48, big deal, during passage of an outer rain band of Ivan. Those of us who survived Francis, we felt bigger blows than that. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 105 miles, yada, yada, yada. Central pressure is 915. Wow. Woo! This is a big one, baby. It's a good thing it's going to get somebody else and not us, you know? Like maybe some of them yahoos in the panhandle. Eric did a fine job. He's already got the 11 a.m. Photo up there, the tracking map. Nice going, Eric. You're on top of it, baby. And showing that the eye of the storm just going to graze. In fact, you know something?
What?
It's going to be in the next couple of hours, it looks like, or maybe sometime this afternoon, that it's going to graze the western tip, that Cuban tip. And then at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, it's like moving to the northwest, up into the Gulf. And the eye moves up to the northwest, actually, a little bit, and then starts heading to the north and then northeast, and curves back up to what I would call the western part of this again is the central part of the cone, which we're not even close to being in. In fact, the overwhelming majority of the state of Florida, even with that big, wide, extended cone. You know who's going to feel the ass end of the heavy rains from this?
Jeff Cohen?
Me.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, just like Francis, man, drenched this place and left 2 days, the whole northeast with tons and tons of rain and mung. And this one's going to do exactly the same because it goes up over the Panhandle through Alabama with a banjo on its knee, and then if it follows the center of this tracking thing, up through the northwest part of Georgia, and then into North Carolina, right toward Georgia's home up there, and then moving off into Virginia. Hopefully it'll make like a nice right turn there and off into the Atlantic, although it looks, I don't know, could be headed right for, I don't want to give you any clues as to where it might be headed for. After it goes through like Philly, in Delaware, Maryland. But that's just some rain. They can handle it. Okay, today's poll, well, I'll give you the poll, right? You got it up there? Let's see. Oh, and we didn't give Eric the other two. So I guess Josh can add those on there because he's under a lot of stress and pressure. Now, they didn't come in there trying to add on spots, did they, Josh?
No, I guess they don't need to now.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, it's not going to happen. That's a bad precedent. We got a bad president, but we don't want to set no bad precedent. See what I'm saying?
No.
Because that would be really stupid to let them start. It's bad enough that we have very little show left in the first place, but if we're just
bad.
If we're just, no, seriously, I don't mind that part. Like I said, if they want to pay me for 5 minutes, that's great. But if we're going to sit here and try to do a show, to have nothing but the slop over, that's the way, we're like the mop-up for Stern, you know?
Yeah.
We're like the mop-up crew for the mess that he leaves after he decides when he finally is going to wrap it up and go home. And then, well, we didn't bother playing any spots for an hour. Well, we're not going to play them. Screw you, okay? Greg? As usual, Greg, you made the mess. You made the bed. Now sleep in it, slop in it, okay? You idiot, you. What a clown. Which people, ethnic, religious, treat women the worst? Muslims, Orthodox Jews, Italians, and you can add in blacks or the Catholic Church. If you would. You got it?
We got it.
You got it.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Somebody farted in here.
And I just keep stinking, stinking, and 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 stinking, stinking, and. In this little room, I heard a big boom. When I turned around, could not see whom. I made the air in here smell just like a tune. It was the crack of doom, and sure ain't no perfume. We got a toxic emission, light a macro ignition. Open all the doors, yeah, that's what I'm wishing. Can't get the smell out, so get the hell out. Pull the window up and jump down now. Can hardly draw a breath, turning blue, I'm near death. Run away, northwest, east, south. Somebody, they know they did it. Got sticky, cause they farted. Yeah, they farted. Yeah, they farted. Somebody farted. Yeah, somebody farted.
Oh my God.
Somebody farted.
You smell that?
Somebody farted. Yeah. Somebody farted. Hey, somebody farted in here. Somebody farted. Somebody farted in here. Somebody farted.
I think the worst of all possibilities is you're standing next to in an elevator, crowded elevator with a big guy from India.
Oh.
Who cut some really nasty curry cheese. Anyway, it's 11:18 at 560 WQAM. Got tomorrow's poll. I love this. Whoever sent this in, thank you profusely. Says, it's a great poll. He likes the poll today. I've been in South Florida for 20 years. It is expected and accepted that married Hispanic men have girlfriends. Well, and sometimes boyfriends too, by the way. They don't even hide it from anyone. Here's another poll suggestion. This is the one for tomorrow, but I'm not going to tell them yet. Don't you like that?
Yes, I do.
I think that's tomorrow's poll. Thank you so much, because that's one of the pains in the ass of having to come in and do these 45-minute shows. I mean, these 4-hour shows every day, is coming up with another poll idea. And we just, well, what do you keep doing them polls for? Because we like it. And the audience likes it.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And if they don't like it, they like to bitch about it. Here's one from Steve who says the Japanese and white trash.
Okay, we added them all on there.
Now, is that true about Japanese treating women like
Keep hearing that, but I haven't heard anybody,
Well, maybe Sabrina, maybe your daughter will tell you when she comes back from her sabbatical
we're
in Japan.
in contact with her, and that was one of the first things that we asked her, and she said, ain't seen no evidence of it there, although the fact that she could pick any one of those guys up and throw them through a window might help.
Right. Well, plus they're going to put on a really good dog and pony show for a while.
And so they are.
Just like you're going to do for that Japanese nice little girl that you got at your house, the exchange student. You're going to put on a really good act like you and your wife pretending that, well, I don't want to go through that.
Uh-huh.
And neither do you.
Whatever.
But anyway, what do we got on there so far? Let's see. Isn't this great that we got about a 5-minute show every day? But see, that I don't care. Just this check showed up on Friday. Nice job, Clarence. That's about all you're good for. Huh?
What they should have done is just go ahead and play that Howard break.
But you see, that's the problem. I'm sure it's in the contract that they can't just be dropping stuff in there or they're going to be in jeopardy of losing the Stern Show. See, this is the problem when you get yourself into a jackpot like Greg always does over and over again, like some in recent years, and then he has no idea what the hell to do about it. Well, that's your problem, baby. You figure it out. They're not going to keep slopping over to the little bit of time that we got left. I guarantee you that. Anyway, which people, ethnic, religious, whatever, treat women the worst like crap? 70 votes. Muslims, 56. How could you be saying that, man? Oh, and how about the Jamaicans?
What about them?
I don't know. Do they treat their women like crap?
I don't know.
Although I don't know about that because the Jamaican women, as I've told you, have that very imperious attitude, man.
Right.
So I don't know.
Might be the opposite.
I don't think so. Muslims 56, Orthodox Jews 7.
Oi!
Don't want no women at that Wailing Wall. Catholic Church 2, the Italians 2, Hispanic 1, white trash 1, blacks 1, and Japanese none so far. I'm not sure about that Japanese thing. Okay, I'm sure that this story is really tragic. From Port St. John, Florida, which I never heard of such a place. Have you?
Port St. John?
Right, never heard of it.
That sounds familiar.
I heard of St. John, Newfoundland, and St. John's. A man who was freed after serving 22 years for a rape he didn't commit walked out of jail with a few possessions in a plastic bag and nothing else. We heard that story recently. Wilton A. Dedge, 42, didn't even get the $100 that Florida gives its most vicious ex-cons when he was released last month. He didn't get the counseling or job referrals or temporary housing the state offers paroled murderers and rapists. He didn't even get a bus ticket home. There was no compensation for the prison term Dedge received after a 17-year-old rape victim mistakenly identified him as her attacker. DNA testing proved his innocence, eh? The system is not set up to deal with exonerees, said Nina Morrison, an attorney who fought for more than a decade to free Dedge on behalf of the New York-based Innocence Project. Ironically, instead of getting more, exonerees usually get less, as in this case, zippity-doo-dah, nothing, nada, dime. Debbie Buchanan, a spokeswoman for the Department of Corrections, said Dedge was not entitled to the benefits given to parolees because he was released from a county jail where he was awaiting the outcome of the DNA test. Because Florida has no wrongful conviction compensation law, Dedge will have to sue the state or persuade a state legislator to sponsor a private claims bill if he hopes to gain any state money, even a dime, even a peso. Only 18 states and the federal government provide some compensation to those falsely imprisoned. What kind of a communist bunch of crap is that? Doesn't that bug the hell out of you?
Yeah, it does. That's why I sent it.
Still, Dedge has received cards, cash, a computer-free dental care, and at least 5 job offers from friends and strangers, his mother said. But he said he spends his nights lying awake. My mind just jumps left and right, thinking about the people I was in prison and things I need to do, Dedge told the Orlando Sentinel. I'm trying to get a normal life, but I really haven't had time to spend with myself. Just disgusting and sick and pathetic. Tragic. Unbelievable is what it is.
Unbelievable.
Right. Unbelievable. Screw that. Anyway, Schwarzenegger outlaws sex with corpses. Aren't you pleased? Aren't you relieved now? I bet you Quasimodo ain't too happy about that. It's a good thing that he preceded Arnold.
Better take that
having
cadaver
sex
back.
with... Huh?
Better take that cadaver back where I got it.
Now, some guys out there are thinking a corpse would probably be an improvement over what I'm doing right now, but that's beside the point. We can't get too deeply into that.
Yeah, we can.
No, I couldn't. Having sex with corpses is now officially illegal in California, and Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger signed a bill barring necrophilia, a spokeswoman said. How do you like that? The new legislation marks the culmination of a 2-year drive to outlaw necrophilia in the state and will help prosecutors who have been stymied by the lack of an official ban on the practice, according to experts. I wonder how that affects that Dolphin quarterback, A.J. Necrophilia. Isn't that pathetic? They don't have a quarterback. They don't have a running back. They don't have nothing. Oh, what was the attendance to that game, by the way, Josh? Did you pay any attention?
I did not.
Well, why not?
Why would I care about the attendance?
Man, come on. You're supposed to be our contact. I realize you're not one of them, but you're supposed to be like the pimp, like the intermediary with the sports nerd part of the radio station. Didn't know that it was U.S. Cellular Field and not Comiskey Park anymore. Man, you are really slipping in your old age, I'll tell you right that. And, of course, working in that place, you'll age very rapidly, in case you haven't noticed. Nobody knows the full extent of the problem, but a handful of instances over the past decade is frequent enough to have a bill concerning it, meaning necrophilia, said Tyler Ochoa, a professor at Santa Clara University School of Law who studied California cases involving allegations of necrophilia. Sex with a cadaver, with a stiff. Oh, I'm sorry. Prosecutors didn't have anything to charge these people with other than breaking and entering, but if they worked in a mortuary in the first place, prosecutors couldn't even charge them with that. How do you like that? The state's first attempt to outlaw necrophilia in response to a case of a man charged with having sex with the corpse of a 4-year-old girl in Southern California. Jesus. Stalled last year in a legislative committee. Lawmakers revived the bill this year. They weren't able to revive the girl, but they revived the bill after an unsuccessful prosecution of a man found in San Francisco funeral home drunk and passed out on top of an elderly woman's corpse. The new law makes sex with the corpse a felony punishable by up to 8 years in prison. That reminds me of that scene in the movie Pin. Did you ever see the movie Pin? P-I-N?
No.
No?
No.
where the kids grow up and the father is a doctor and he has that anatomically correct dummy.
Never saw
like a plastic dummy, huh?
Sounds compelling.
Yeah, and one day the little kid goes in there and he's sneaking a peek at Pin or having a conversation because his father used to be the well, you have to see the movie. And then the nurse comes in thinking nobody's around. Meantime, the kid is hiding behind one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those things, those curtain things in a doctor's orifice.
Get naked.
And the kid is, and she just lays down on the thing there, on the gurney, on the Ed gurney, and takes that pin and just, use your imagination.
Pokes it.
Let's see, what do we got on the poll? Which people treat women the worst? Muslims, 87, man. You people better stop it. Orthodox Jews, 10. White trash, 7. Catholic Church, 3. Blacks, 3. Italians, 3. Hispanic, 2. And Japanese, none. Where did we get that from?
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Rectum.
Dashy, oily, soily, and old. Looks like the Quaker Oats guy. Smells from the body roll mold. Barbara Bush has body Feldman eyes. Pulls of her eyes pop out. It happened when she realized she raised more criminal clowns. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes. And she's nasty, old and crappy, and she raised more perfect Nazis. She's atrocious and takes umbrage to anyone who says they want no Bush. Walks like she's carrying a bowling ball between her thighs and has Marty Feldman eyes. She doesn't mean to talk as if she's always surprised. Teeth wiggle when she talks. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes. She gave us George Bush and Jeb Bush, not to mention Bill and Robin Bush. Filthy, rich, and fat, and smells just like the magic sauce on a Big Mac. Barbara Bush resembles Ernest Borgnine on a bad day with Marty Feldman eyes.
11:33, 27:02 at 560 WQAM. Let's talk real fast. Maybe we can have like a little bit of a show today until the Marlin pregame show at 1:30. What do you say? What do you think?
Okay,
huh?
we could talk as fast as Adam was on the phone this morning.
Yeah. Oh, that was really something. That was really quite a deal. And it's good news for all of us. And a lot of people are probably saying, oh, gee, I went out and I bought plywood this time and I got all that water and batteries. And, well, you know something? This is one hurricane that you didn't want to be unprepared for. Because nobody knows the trouble we'd be seeing if you're unprepared. And especially if your shutters weren't up over the weekend, just in case. But mine weren't. I'll just mention that in passing again. It's the South Florida effing way. It's just amazing. If you find a business that actually treats you well and shows up when they say, for example, like Dial a Mattress, one of our fine sponsors, give them a little free plug, they deserve it. They show up in that 2-hour window, like we always say, and they really show up.
Who, by the way, in both hurricane cases have shipped off a truckload of mattresses to both locations, as they always do. Just mention that in passing.
Yeah, great people. So if you find people like that, stay with them. Don't ever dream of doing anybody else. But, boy, there are so many shysters down there. So, and then when they don't even call, they just leave you hanging, leave you in the lurch. And, of course, they've already got a 50% deposit on the big, big amount of money that they're going to, well, whatever. I don't want to go through a whole song to dance. Adam. Did you see the clip on CNN of the guy with the Batman outfit standing on the ledge of Buckingham Palace?
No, I did not.
Didn't see that?
Recently?
What great security they got there for that queen, huh? I think all queens deserve great security. You know, when I'm losing at the slots, which is quite often, I'm sitting there playing my slot machines and all you get is a cherry pops up. And I think to myself, oh, another cherry for the fairy. I don't know why I think that. Just to put a snicker. No, to put a smile on my face, right? When you're in the middle of a losing streak for like 7-8 hours. A father's rights campaigner dressed as Batman has evaded tight security to protest on the balcony at Buckingham Palace, Queen Elizabeth's London residence. Maybe he just wanted to put on a show for the Queen. The Queen was not at the palace at the time of the protest, as she is on her summer break at Balmoral in Scotland, the palace said. Oh, you stuffy, silly-ass Brits, are you ever going to stop?
No.
Oh, God, do they make me puke. There is an intruder, a palace spokeswoman told CNN on Monday. It's a matter for the police. It's a matter for Scotland Yard and Inspector Lestrade. The campaign group Fathers for Justice said protester Jason Hatch had been on the palace balcony for more than 3 hours, and here's the picture of him. With a big, not only is he on the balcony, but a big banner. How the hell did he get up there, and how did he get that thing up there? It says, Super Dads of Fathers for Justice, fighting for your right to see your kids. And then he's got his website, www.fathers-4justice, fathers-4-justice.org.
A lot of dashes.
Yeah. The protesters standing on the ledge to the right-hand side of the main balcony at the front of the palace unfurled a banner that said, Super Dads of Fathers for Justice. 2 other intruders ran off after helping the demonstrator penetrate the palace grounds. Police said the men were detected by security cameras as they scaled palace railings. Well, they sure did a good job of stopping them at that point. How come they didn't unleash the hounds?
The hounds of the Baskervilles?
Yeah, those are the ones. The hounds, man. The needle Watson. Royal security was reviewed after a Daily Mirror reporter got a job at Buckingham Palace as a servant before U.S. President George W. Bush stayed there during a state visit in November last year. Stand-up comedian Aaron Barshak also highlighted lax security by gate-crashing Prince William's 21st birthday party at Windsor last year in June. That's not Windsor Raceway, by the way, where Marty Adler calls those races. How you doing, Marty, eh? Violence, boy, I thought the mission was accomplished already, wasn't it? Jeez, I thought everything, we had peace in our hand, like Kissinger told us during Vietnam. And by the way, I don't know about you, but I'm getting really sick and tired of hearing any more about Vietnam. You know, we shouldn't forget the lessons learned there about wars that are being fought for no good reason at all, based on lies.
Right.
In that case, the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, it's all of these things. We just keep repeating the same mistakes. But quite frankly, all of this business about this memo and this, in addition to which, how come CBS didn't have all the information back before Bush was running the first time, huh? So we wouldn't have had to go through this 4 years of hell, as Teresa Heinz Kerry Schwartz said, right? 4 years of hell. And that's a compliment. That's an understatement. A U.S. helicopter gunship fired at Iraqis milling around a burning U.S. vehicle in Baghdad on a Baghdad street on Sunday, one of Iraq's bloodiest days for weeks, in which at least 110 people died in clashes around the country. I bet you they really ought to be grateful to us, don't you think?
Candy and
for the tremendous peace and tranquility we brought to their country. The health ministry said the worst casualties were in Baghdad, where 37 were killed, and Tal Afar near the Syrian border, where 51 more people died. In Baghdad, witnesses and officials said 13 people died and 61 wounded during fierce battles in the area where the U.S. gunship fired. The city also suffered at least 7 car bombs and various outbreaks of violence. Insurgents fired a dozen mortar bombs or rockets around the U.S.-occupied Green Zone compound. It was one of the heaviest barrages in the capital in months. South of Baghdad, 3 Polish soldiers were killed, 3 wounded when they were attacked near Hilla. And it goes on and on and on over here on this street, on that street, all over the damn place. Even though mission is accomplished, baby, especially at
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we'll get some more ideas for this poll today, okay? Because we probably should take a few calls between now and 1:30, even though we are extraordinarily rushed for time. That's our new deal on this show, is we've been, it's the condensed Neil Rogers show, kind of like Borden's condensed milk, or condensed movies, or condensed books, things like that. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. Which group of people treat women the worst? So far, the Muslims have got it. Don't be a jerka and don't make them wear that burqa, please. Enough of that crap already. 148. Orthodox Jews, 15. White trash, trailer trash, rednecks, 10. Catholic Church, 7. Hispanic, 6. Italians, 6. Japanese got 4 now.
There you go.
And blacks, 4. WQAM, hello. QAM?
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'd say cavemen, ooga booga.
Yeah, okay. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Neil.
And by the way, go back to New York, asswipe. Yes, sir.
Neil, I was wondering if Jamaica has climbed up on your vacation spot wish list.
Yeah, it's number 1 with a bullet. WQAM, hello.
Greg Reed is with QAM.
Well, these people have been cooped up for a while now, okay? It's time to let them fly the coop, so to speak. See, Everett?
You're listening to Neil Rogers.
No, I did not.
Exclusively QAM.
No.
Well, the Kerry girls are hot. I really dig those see-through clothes. And their eyes are pretty, and so is their hair. It's too bad they got their dad's nose. The Bush twins are so smoking when they make those campaign stops. Well, they got their looks right from their mom. They got their drinking from their pop. Our politicians, you wish they all could be politicians. I wish they all could be politicians, girl.
You didn't hear that, did you?
Well, the actresses and models, they just don't do it for me. Yeah, of all the girls in the whole wide world, I like the ones who live in D.C. I wish they all could be politicians. You wish they all could be politicians.
14 till noon. I think that even all the equipment in here is like on high cook now right now because we got very little time. So little. What do we got? About an hour and 45 minutes left?
Yeah.
Seems like we just sat down. Didn't even have a chance to say hello today because we had to squeeze in some of those spots because, well, you understand.
I do.
And somebody ought to pass the word along to Robert Grieper. He has nothing to do with this show, okay? The only reason he's still in the building is because he's our program director, Josh, a.k.a. Clarence Darrow's boyfriend. That's the only reason he's still got the job in there. But, we can handle that, even though he's a self-hating little right-wing Jew. But other than that, so if he thinks he's going to, start trying to pawn spot, he ain't the traffic. Don't F with her log, okay, Robert? Don't mess with her log. And by the way, she is about 2 feet tall now. The water Nazi. What happened to that bitch? Man. That day that Volker Bryan and I were leaving whatever the hell it was, 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
The elevator door opens and there she is. I almost stepped on her. She comes up to your ankle. So I think maybe she's just, I don't know. Authenticity backed on Bush documents as if anybody really cares because this is all such garbage, man. After CBS News on Wednesday trumpeted newly discovered documents that referred to a 1973 effort to sugarcoat President Bush's service record in the Texas Air National Guard, the network almost immediately faced charges that the documents were forgeries with typography that was not available on typewriters used at that time. But specialists interviewed by the Boston Globe and some other news organizations say the specialized characters used in the documents and the type format were common to electric typewriters in wide use in the early 70s when Bush was a first lieutenant. And then, of course, they got this deal about, the Lieutenant Colonel Jerry Killian, he wasn't even in the Guard at that time, and the bottom line is that we got a draft-dodging president and vice president. That's the bottom line, no matter how you fry it. And that's what Kerry should have been saying a long time ago, and everybody else too. At the very least, unleash Howard Dean, baby. If they're not going to butch up the rest of them, if they don't have the balls, all the rest of those losers, just turn him loose, man, let him kick some ass.
Right.
Just like that day that he unmasked Tom Ridge's phony terror warning number 725,000 and told it exactly like it was. Just keep the people on edge. Keep them scared, like Michael Moore said. Keep everybody peeing in their pants. And then, of course, this business, the main reason we want 4 more years of Bush is because he's strong on terror.
Huh?
Right. That's why the most grotesque terror attack ever on American soil happened under his watch. That's why they tell us to keep peeing in our pants, because we can't control the terrorists and we can't round them up. We haven't found Osama Yamama and Mullah Bola and all those other lunatic schmata heads. But put him in there again because he's doing just a fine job. Right. And not only is he doing a fine job there, but the economy is really swell. Yeah, U.S. Air files Chapter 11. So we got Delta laying off 850 million workers. You got United that's hanging on by a thread. And now U.S. Skier filed for bankruptcy protection yesterday for the second time in 2 years. Sounds like my brother. The Chapter 11 filing in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Alexandria, Virginia, came after the airline was unable to obtain $800 million in annual cost cuts from its workers' unions. The airline had warned during talks that concessions were needed to avoid the bankruptcy filing. Customers should not notice any changes in flight operations or customer service because of this filing, the airline said in a statement on its website. All bookings will be honored. There are no changes to our ticketing policies, they be saying. Bruce Lakefield, U.S. Airways President and Chief Executive, said in a statement that failure to obtain concessions heightened the need for the company, the seventh largest airline, to conserve its cash and proceed with its plans to overhaul the business and become a low-cost carrier. You following that?
Yeah.
A low-cost carrier, like Tango, like, what are some of the other ones?
Value Jet.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, how's that clown doing that they painted on that? That's bad.
Won't see him no more.
No, I'm not crazy about planes that got painted little clowns on the side. I just am not. You know, there ain't nothing funny about Value Jet. Not anymore. How's National Airlines doing? That one that flies to Vegas. Are they still flying those flights or not?
I don't know.
I know they're in Chapter 85 and 122. And then, of course, you got TWA's doing real good, and Eastern and all the other 85,000 airlines that have vanished, disappeared because the economy is doing so great. And because of that great... Thank you for those low gas prices, Mr. President, again, by the way. We keep forgetting to say that every day. Well, I'm looking at that tracking map, and it makes me feel so much better about life. And you want to know another reason? Not only don't we need any more rain and wind and destruction and death, but now there are very little more excuses. Although, of course, at QAM there's always an excuse why we can't do this and we can't do that, and this one ain't doing this. But it seems like everything you deal with now for these last 3 or 4 weeks. Oh, well, we can't get around to that because of the hurricane. And we have to cancel that meeting you wanted to have because of the hurricane. Well, you'll have to come up with some new and innovative excuses. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Everything you've been trying to do for these last 3 weeks. Oh, well, we can't get to that because of the hurricane. Which people, ethnic, religious, etc., treat women the worst like crap, and it is inexcusable. Unless, of course, they deserve it.
Right.
Huh? Maybe we ought to add that to the poll.
Bitch better have my money.
Huh? Yeah. Seriously, I mean, there are obviously some women, and wasn't I telling you about one this morning? I don't want to go into a whole thing on the air.
You bitch, you slut, you whore.
Right. Who happens to be the property manager in the building that I live here, and she just happens to be a nasty old dyke, and she's got a crappy attitude, and screw her, you know? Like to just attack her with a broom handle. Do a what was his name? Abner, Luima? What was his name?
Oh, no, I
something
forgot.
like that.
Yeah, something
in New
like
York,
that.
you know what I'm
Right.
talking about.
Yes, I do.
The one they attacked with a broom handle. They assaulted him. That's not right. How come I can't remember that name? Well, because I'm running about 155 miles an hour here. Like a 33 and a third RPM record going at like 172. 270 votes. Muslims take the cake on this one, baby. 188. What are we going to do about those schmata heads?
I guess bomb them.
White, we're doing it. White trash 16, black 16, Orthodox Jews 16, Hispanics 13, Catholic Church 8, Japanese 7, Italian 6, and maybe we ought to put they all deserve it. You think we ought to put that on there?
I don't know.
It'll get a lot of votes.
Sure.
You mark my words, they all deserve it. That's what some of you women-hating bastards will say. And maybe you got a point. WQAM, hello.
I'd have to go with Hank. He's so big.
Okay, great. WQAM, hello.
Good afternoon, Neil. Morning,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
I beg your pardon? Good evening.
The Dolphins, I think, are done.
Yeah, okay, and so are you. 5670560. Good calls this morning, man. Good calls. Pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines as well. Aren't they great? Good thing we don't have time for... No, it's too bad we don't have time for a whole bunch of them. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
One for the poll, man. Dominicans treat their bitches terrible. And speaking of bitches, Brian Norcross blinks too damn much. Believe it.
Okay, great. Dominicans. Well, we don't want to say the Dominicans. How do we say that? What are they called?
Hispanics on there.
Oh, yeah, we got Hispanics. Okay, that covers a lot of fish. I mean, we could have broken it down, but we don't have time to do that. Right?
Right.
We don't got time for Nicaraguans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Venezuelans, Colombians, just spics. Just garden variety. WQAM, hello.
The attendance at the Dolphin game was 69,500.
Well, that's not bad.
It was pretty good.
Considering the well, it's too bad the game wasn't so good, but the attendance was good.
Hey, they got to start somewhere.
Thanks a lot,
Have a good day.
They got to start somewhere. There's the Dolphin for you. Hope springs eternal in the breast of a Dolphin, man. We're got a shot. It's going to be great. No, it's not. It's going to be pretty ugly. Going to be pretty ugly. I told you that a long time ago, being the football expert that I am. Told you that the Patriots were just unbeatable, that Tom Brady is God, and it just keeps on, you know. It's just amazing to me. I mean, Wayne must need a lobotomy, you know. Of course, then he'd have to get Moe's old piece, cover it up. Wouldn't you think?
I wonder
well,
what
he's got
done
that
with
big bald spot, which is his entire head. He'd probably have to cover it up with some, like a doily or something. Or maybe he could become Jewish. He could become Orthodox and wear a shmata all the time. Cover up the spot where they lobotomize. Maybe we could him and Greg a twofer, a package deal. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Let me turn this down. I haven't heard you talk about Paul Crouch, the allegations against him.
No, George was gonna email something about that, and I
they
mentioned
never
got it.
Yeah, it's on Yahoo News. It's in the LA Times. Actually, Howard Stern or Robin talked about it, but
right.
Anyway, I just wanted to make sure you knew about that.
Yeah, George was telling me something. We got sidetracked this morning.
He had a homosexual liaison.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
Paul Crouch?
Yes. Yeah.
Holy cow!
An email. If not, I'll resend
I think it's time to investigate Paul's crotch.
But his defense was he was drunk when it happened.
Aren't they always? Yeah.
All right, later.
Thanks for the good news. I'm glad he reminded me because you started to tell me about that. Now, why don't you just fax me whatever you got?
I'm printing it up right now, but it's probably already in your email.
I don't want to do my email. Okay, I'd rather have you fax me. You got this email fetish. Don't you understand? While I'm doing the show, opening up this email and that email and this female, it's just forget about it. Okay, just fax
it was very long.
I don't care how long it is. Believe me. Trust me when I tell you.
Paul's crotch?
Paul's crotch. How do you like that? A homosexual affair. He makes Jim Baker look like a piker. Huh?
Blaming.
I've been drunk a lot.
Neil Rogers.
Exclusively on
WQAM. This is Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
War, not the one with Saddam. Come with us back to Vietnam.
Oy!
That war, it's back in the news. We want to know, what did John Kerry do? Those swift boats, now they are making another run. Those swift boats, they could determine the election. Set a course for conjecture about things more than 30 years old. That war, it was really bad, but it's still better than these negative ads. It's war. This campaign is a war.
Trouble too, yeah, but they're arguing about the wrong war. That's the problem. Anyway, we got the Marlin pregame at 1:30, and then after the ball game, we got Mo. And the Mo, we hear him. Well, I don't know what to say. Mo, Howard, David, and then the big. At 7, and we apologize. In fact, look at that. He again tomorrow, the same thing. Same exact thing, neurotic repetition. You got Mo and the big O. This story has just made my day, my week, and made my life, because here's another religious phony baloney, man. All you suckers out there, all you fools that fall for this bullcrap, when are you going to wake up and sniff the daffodils and the pansies, huh? And the lilacs in Rochester. Televangelist Paul Crouch attempts to keep accuser quiet. Thank you very much for reminding me about this caller. See, once in a while you get a call that's worthwhile.
Indeed.
About once every few years.
About 30, man.
This from the LA Times. Where the hell's this start? Televangelist Paul Crouch, founder of the world's largest Christian broadcasting network, has waged a fierce legal battle to prevent a former employee from publicizing allegations that he and Crouch had a sexual encounter 8 years ago. Crouch, 70, is president of the notorious Trinity Broadcasting Network based in Orange County, California, whose Christian programming reaches millions of suckers around the world via satellite, cable, and broadcast estaciones. The source of the allegations against him is Enoch, or is that eunuch? Enoch Lonnie Ford, who met Crouch at a TBN-affiliated drug treatment center in 1991, later went to work for the ministry. After Ford threatened to sue TBN in 98, claiming that he had been unjustly fired, Crouch reached a $425,000 settlement with him. In return, Ford agreed, among other things, not to discuss his claim about a sexual encounter with a TV preacher. But in the last year, Ford has threatened to go public with this story, prompting a flurry of legal maneuvers conducted in closed court hearings, sealed pleadings, and private arbitrations. In court papers, Crotch has denied the allegations, and ministry officials have described Ford, who has a history of drug problems and served time for a sex offense, as a liar and extortionist. At stake are the public image of one of the world's most successful televangelists and potentially the fortunes of the broadcasting empire that Crotch and his heavily made-up wife, Jan,
Oh, my God.
built over the last 31 years. TBN and Crotch went on the legal offensive after they learned that Ford had written a book manuscript that included an account of the alleged sexual encounter. In a dramatic flourish, Ford had appeared at a TBN broadcast studio in Costa Mesa, California, minutes before the start of a Praise-a-thon fundraiser, and without comment handed Crotch a copy of the manuscript. Ford's lawyer later told ministry officials that they could keep the work out of public view by buying the rights. After some discussion, he suggested that $10 million might be a reasonable price. While negotiations continued, Crotch sued to enforce the 98 secrecy agreement, obtained a restraining order barring Ford from seeking a publisher for his book. Maybe Larry Flint can publish it, if he ever finds that broad in Texas that Bush knocked up. Orange County Superior Court Judge John Watson also granted Crotch's request to conduct the case in secret, sealing all documents, expunging any mention of the suit from public court records. Both sides eventually agreed to let a private arbitrator decide the matter. In June, the arbitrator ruled that Ford could not publish the manuscript without violating the 98 settlement, an act that could subject him to monetary damages. This account of the controversy is drawn from interviews with friends of Ford's, unsealed court records, and correspondence among TBN's lawyers copy of the arbitrator's confidential rulings. The arbitrator's decision contains details about the 98 settlement and Ford's manuscript, both of which are under seal. Where does it go on, and where do we finally get to the meat of the matter? Huh? Yeah.
Where are the goods?
Let's see.
Or the bad?
Well, let me get back to it. Records and interviews show that even as they battle to keep Ford's story from leaking, TBN lawyers word that details would eventually come out. I'm absolutely amazed that Lonnie hasn't gone to Penthouse or Diane Sawyer with his manuscript, notwithstanding the injunction. TBN attorney Dennis Brewer Sr. wrote in a March letter to the network's other lawyers. In a subsequent letter in May, Brewer mentioned the anguish that Ford's accusations had caused Crotch's youngest son, Matt, when he learned of them in 1998. Brewer wrote the younger Crotch had told him that his then law partner, David Middlebrook, wrote, I am devastated. I'm confronting with having to face the fact that my father is a homosexual. Middlebrook and Matt Crotch have denied that there was such a conversation. Millions of viewers of Paul and Jan Crotch started TBN in 1973. Boy, this is butchered, this thing. Then used a rented studio in Santa Ana, California. I'm not going to read any more of this because it's just
why I didn't want
butchered.
to fax the whole thing.
Yeah. How do you like that? Goes on and on with details about who put what where and did this and this one that.
Was there any passion involved, though?
Woo! That's right. There was no passion, so then it's kosher, okay? Oy! Plus he was circumspect. So Paul Crotch, another one, of course alleged, we believe it. Jim Baker, Jimmy Swaggart, all of these phonies, man. Ernest Ainsley with that bad piece that even Mo wouldn't wear. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
So, obviously this is the boy that cried wolf syndrome with, Mrs. Norcross and Mrs. Kamal on the TV. So where are we supposed to take it the next time they come on and start screaming that there's a hurricane off of the tip of Africa?
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, they give us an advisory so far in advance.
Yeah.
They have 17 different models.
Yeah.
And not one of them was ever this far west.
Okay, well, next, what are you talking about this far west? How about when it got to, down there by Jamaica, man? They didn't know where it was going. You're an idiot. That's all I can tell you. You're an idiot. I mean, I'm not going to stick up for those two. In addition to which, if you had any brains, you'd be watching either Don No or, what's his name, Roland Stedham. And not those two hyperventilating pansies. Man, what an idiot. Well, off the west today. First, they weren't even hyperventilating about it because we were busy dealing with Francis at that time. Anybody remember Francis, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Arlene Francis, Watch My Line? You bet. By the way, Boca, I think your disc just showed up downstairs, and it's about freaking time. Well, the power of the hurricane, yeah. Oh, speaking of the hurricanes, I want to tell you right now, I saw the last 10 minutes of that abortion on Friday night. That's my luck.
I was there.
I'm going to tell you right now that FSU is the biggest bunch of gagging, choking girls. It is a girls' school, FSU. It's a freaking little girls' school.
Yes, it is.
Man, they choke and they gag. This time it wasn't wide right. It was just, they all must have left the field a few minutes too soon there. What a joke that was. And then blow the damn thing in overtime. That was pathetic. And I also want to say this. Those black socks. I've been talking about this for a long time. Wasn't one black sox scandal enough, wouldn't you think, for sports? 1919, the black sox? No, that wasn't enough. Now the Hurricanes have got those black socks. If that don't make those guys look like a team on a gangster school, I don't know what does. And I don't really give a damn about what's her name, Donna Ann Hershey. I don't care if she likes it or not. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Well, I'm not going to try to educate you. You're sad. You've been hanging out with that goofball too much, Dave Van Boring. The black socks and the black shoes, man. Take a look at it next time they play some other girls' school. Take a look at it when they play like Yeshiva or Vassar. The expiration today of a 10-year federal ban on assault weapons means firearms like AK-47s. Now, that ain't good enough. We got to get the good stuff on here. One moment, please.
There you go.
The expiration today of a 10-year federal ban on assault weapons means firearms like AK-47s, Uzis, and Tech-9s can now be legally bought, a development that has critics upset, and gun owners, of course, pleased, because America love their guns. They polish them, they rub them, they squeeze them, they covet them, they fondle them. The 94 ban signed by President Clinton outlawed 19 types of military-style assault weapons. A clause directed that the ban expire unless Congress specifically reauthorized it, which, of course, it did not because they have no balls. The expiration of the ban is a victory for the National Rifle Association, which had made lobbying against the legislation one of its top priorities. Remember they were talking about how they were going to have an office right next to the president?
You son of a bitch.
Studies done by pro- and anti-gun groups as well as the Justice Department show conflicting results on whether the ban would help reduce crime. No, I think it's really a great idea, especially, who the hell was talking about this? Was it Kerry yesterday or somebody else? About the fact that right in the Al-Qaeda handbooks that they found, they talked about how easy it is to buy assault weapons in America. This was pre-94. And about how they ought to buy them and go out and start shooting up schools and shopping malls, stuff like that. Gun shop owners say the expiration of the ban will have little effect on the types of guns and accessories that are typically sold and traded across their counters every day. At the Boise Gun Company, gunsmith Justin Davis last week grabbed up a plastic rifle resembling the U.S. military standard issue M16 from a row of more than a dozen similar weapons stacked against the wall. The civilian version of the gun, a Colt AR-15 manufactured before 94, could be sold last week just as easily. It can be sold this week. It shoots exactly the same ammo at exactly the same rate of fire, he said. Many states, including California, Massachusetts, New York, and Hawaii, have passed their own laws curbing the use of assault weapons. Some of these are more stringent than the federal ban. U.S. Representative Butch Otter, Republican of Idaho, trumpeted the end of the federal law. President Clinton's so-called assault weapons ban was nothing more than a sop to anti-gun liberals, Otter said Friday in a written statement. It provided only the illusion of reducing gun violence, but it did real damage to our liberties. Well, thank God that the Republicans don't want to do no damage to our liberties, right?
Right.
Damn it. What a joke. And half of America's buying into it. Keep thinking about those goofballs that said, well, once we get past that magic figure of 1,000 American deaths in Iraq, then, at that point, the public is really going to rise up and get pissed off with Bush and fire. Right. They're dying like flies over there right now, and the public is going like that. Oh, he's good against terrorism, man. He's strong. Only the most inept political party with the most inept candidate could possibly be in this position on the precipice of disaster 7 weeks from now, from tomorrow, as a matter of fact, as the Democrats. Just pathetic. Tragic. Count on them to rescue us from fascism. Not. Anyway, Canada's starting to look pretty good, eh? 12:13 at 560 WQAM. We don't have any hurricanes either. Right now, Armstrong Ford Homestead wants to clear their lots and sell off all remaining 04s. Here are just some of the great deals waiting for you as I speak. An 04 F-150 pickup, you pay just $1 over invoice. New 04 Explorers, just $1 over invoice. Rangers, Crown Vics, Tauruses, and Focuses are all waiting for you at just $1 over invoice right now at Armstrong Ford Homestead. Plus, these folks offer you more value to their loyal customers. When you buy a Ford from Armstrong Ford, you'll always get their exclusive Tires and Batteries for Life program. That is absolutely correct. Tires and batteries for life. The value you'll get at Armstrong Ford doesn't stop there, because right now you can get yourself a free Florida Sun Pass with any vehicle you buy. If you're pressed for time during these hectic days in South Florida, Armstrong Ford knows that your time is tight, so call this number, 305-247-5112, and shop right over the phone. They'll even deliver that new vehicle right to you in your storm shelter. Armstrong Ford Homestead, locally owned and operated. They'll treat you just like family. You won't get a better deal on a Ford anywhere in town. No bait and switch. No phony deals either. Armstrong Ford of Homestead. They're at 30725 South Dixie Highway, just 20 minutes south of the 836. Check them on the web at armstrongcars.com. Drive a little and save a ton of cash on that new Ford only at Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
I'm Don Lepre, the guy who showed you how to make money running small classified ads in newspapers all over the country. Now, I'm going to show you how to make even more money robbing small financial institutions all over the country.
I was skeptical, but Don's new system really works. I got my kid on Monday, and by Tuesday, I was wanted in 5 states.
I'll teach you, step by step, how to pull off a typical armed robbery. From casing a joint, to making a clean getaway, to taking hostages.
With Don's new system, I'm able to supplement my fixed income. Now get on the floor before I execute every last one of you!
And it's so easy to get started. All it takes is a handgun, a ski mask, and a desire to succeed.
I'm a full-time mom, but thanks to Don Lepre, my minivan is now a getaway car. Hold on, kids, it's the fun.
To get the cash to order Don Lepre's Making Money by Taking Money system, just write a hold-up note for $39.95 and show it to any bank teller.
12:18. So what about Paul's crotch, huh? What are we going to do about that? It was Abner Louima.
What are you going to do about it?
Isn't that what I said before? Abner Louima? I think I said it right.
Yes. Close.
But I double checked because I thought that I don't know. What kind of a name is that? Haitian is what it is. Done them with a broom handle. That's what they did.
Yes, they did.
Most
Well,
of
they're
they
just
were.
boys having fun. You know how it is. Fraternity kind of things.
Yes, I do. New My Doom variants could forewarn major attack. The arrival of 4 new variants of the My Doom worm. And Screwan is pretty excited about it. Within the last few days, his antivirus experts worried that the virus creator may be preparing to release a major onslaught. George had a good idea what we do with these punks that invent all these viruses and spread them all around. And we were arguing, the debate was aluminum bat or baseball bat.
I say aluminum because of the nice ping.
I say a nice Louisville Slugger would be good.
Yeah, like the pinging sound an aluminum bat makes when it hits a head.
A what sound? Don't say it again. A sound?
Didn't say
On
that.
Thursday afternoon of last week, My Doom, U, V, W, and X all appeared within a couple of hours of one another. None of the variants is especially worrisome or innovative on its own, but taken as a whole, that's with a W, the release of 4 versions so close together is of some concern, experts said. The last time so many variants of one virus were released in such a short period of time was in July, when 4 minor versions of the bagel virus emerged, followed by a major new strain. Well, that's that song I was humming this morning. My baby does the morning strain. Antivirus researchers say the My Doom author could be following a similar pattern. The last time this happened was with bagel, with or without lox and cream cheese, and the next one was a big one, said Sam Curry, no relation to Kid Curry, vice president of the E-Trust Security Division at Computer Associates International in Islandia, New York. Plus, he says we're getting close to the end of the alphabet. A lot of times the Z and AA variants have some extra impact, some extra like that. Well, so many worms and so little time. FCC finds another Florida radio pirate. Good.
All right.
Excellent. All you radio pirates out there should be locked up in the same cell with Sodom. And we ought to allow him to commit sodomy on all of you. Tampa resident Fritzner Simon. Fritzner.
Okay, sounds like a kraut.
Exactly. Was fined $10,000 by the commission after he confessed to operating an unlicensed FM station in the Tampa area at 87.9 FM megahertz. The FCC also detected an illegal radio station operating at 102.1 from a home where Simon's car was parked, but Simon claimed his wife and her friend were driving the car that day, and the parked car was therefore not his. Right. Just a coincidence. Meanwhile, the FCC canceled a $10,000 penalty it had imposed against Brooklyn, New York-based Hip Hop Corp. after the company proved that it had indeed not been the operator of the Tampa Pirate. Well, good for them. Screw you, FCC, okay, you bunch of lunatics. Go deal with something important, okay, like murderers and rapists. Stop using our tax money to stick the word police in our face, okay? They keep censoring and butchering the First Amendment as only as you fascists can do. Democrats, Republicans, the whole bunch, all 5 of you lunatics there, okay? Screw you. Man, do they suck. The FCC sucks. Just keep saying it. Open up the window like Howard Beale said and yell it out the window. The FCC sucks. The FCC blows. Screw the FCC. In fact, the FCC. How do you like that? Anyway, Did I get it out of my system? A little bit. So sick and tired of this censorship. And not only that, but the public buys into it. Oh, yeah, well, it's a good idea. All this disgusting filth on the airwaves, it's bad for our children. What the hell just happened to my homepage?
Uh-oh.
How the hell do I have this shop Nell thing come up there? You know what? I just got through talking about it, and there it is. How the hell did that happen? And now I can't get back onto my page again. Are you on it? Are you looking at our homepage?
Yeah? Wait a minute. I got a cannot be displayed. When I tried to reset.
Well, what the hell is going on there? Maybe that's the worm I was just talking about. Maybe somebody stuck that wicked worm.
Maybe we're having issues.
Well, do you think that's just a coincidence?
No.
How do you like that? I just get through reading that story about that wicked worm, and all of a sudden... Wow. How do you like that? I'm going to go back to my Explorer and check that thing out again. Let's see what's going to pop up here, okay? Because if it's that evil thing I just had on there...
It's taking an awfully long time.
It's taken a long time, Eric. What's going on here, man? All I can say is... Holy moly. No sooner did I speak than some punk out there who needs to be beaten brutally with a baseball bat, a Louisville Slugger wooden baseball bat, must have unleashed something right up Eric's old...
Rectum.
Shoot.
He's checking it out now, but I can't reload the page.
I can't either. All I got is it's cursing. It's doing a lot of cursing, but can't get nothing. And that's like only seconds after I got through with this thing. How do you like that?
Uh-huh. Coincidence.
Maureen Down writes, do I have time for this? Yeah, sure. It's on our website if you can get on it. She says, Westerns and Easterns, it's a remarkable feat, but teeter-tottering John Kerry is even managing to land on both sides of the ambition issue. Sorry, we couldn't find the page, it says on my thing now. For his entire life, Kerry was seen as so ambitious to be president, as so eager to consort with heiresses that it was off-putting. His St. Paul classmates played Hail to the Chief on kazoos when he walked by, and in the Senate, Bob Dole mocked the Massachusetts senator's love of cameras by nicknaming him Live Shot. But this summer, I guess we ought to call Bob Dole Limp Shot. But this summer, when that lust for power should have been coursing through his veins, Mr. Kerry grew timid and logy. He let the Bush crowd and Swiftboat character assassins stomp all over him, and for the longest time didn't fight back. He stumbled into every trap Bush Inc. set. Finally, the only Democrat who's fended off the WASP Corleones reminded the nominee of the prep school mantra, punch the bully in the face and do it in the same news cycle. When he hasn't been busy with his quadruple bypass operation, Bill Clinton has been chatting with John Kerry on the phone from the hospital, urging him to juice it up. The Clinton posse, James Carville, Paul Begala, Joe Lockhart, Mike McCurry, Stan Greenberg, Lanny Davis, has intervened to prop up the sagging leadership of Bob Shrum, who had advised Mr. Kerry not to go negative and allowed the once-hot John Edwards to vanish without a trace. Mr. Kerry listened to Shrummy despite the fact that the strategist renowned for his speech-writing talents had not even given his candidate a single stirring speech. Writing about the curse of Shrummy in the Washington Post, Mark Leibovich said, it's common to see him in the back seat of a car driven by a young aide, an image that reinforces a somewhat regal bearing. He loves gourmet food and fine wines and has suits handmade by a Georgetown tailor, not unlike Greg Reed. Democrats are rolling their eyes at the spectacle of a former president in a hospital bed resuscitating a would-be president. Howard Dean had the base all warmed up, and now Kerry's turned into a girly man, said a Democratic insider, comparing it with the scene in The Godfather where singer Johnny Fontaine shows up at the wedding of Don Corleone's daughter and whines that the studio chief is being mean to him.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
Mr. Bush and Mr. Cheney jumped in the polls because they cast their convention as a Western. They were the Magnificent Seven steely-eyed, gunslinging samurai riding in to save the frightened town. Rudy Giuliani, John McCain, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Zell Miller, Dick Cheney, George W. Bush, and Poppy Bush, who was on Imus, comparing Mr. Kerry with Jane Fonda. The vice president played up the Western motif by giving ABC an interview at his Wyoming ranch. The cowboy riding tall in the saddle and holding the reins for a little girl on her pony could have been Shane, wrote Alessandra Stanley in her TV Watch column in the Times. After 9/11, Americans want tough guys who'll protect them from al-Qaeda. They seem to be willing to settle for an impersonation of tough guys by Mr. Bush and Mr. Cheney, who were so busy with their vanity war in Iraq that they missed critical opportunities to vanquish al-Qaeda and spent money on a foreign occupation that could have been used to secure American ports and come up with plans before the Beslan tragedy to protect children from terrorists. But the White House has cleverly co-opted the imagery of Westerns, leaving Mr. Kerry to star in a far less successful movie genre, the Eastern. In Westerns, the heroes are men of smoke-em-out edicts in action, played out in gorges and on their ranches. In Easterns, the heroes have windy, nuanced dialogue delivered with a lockjaw in mansions on Beacon Hill and on windsurfing expeditions off Nantucket. In Easterns, the Feet Heroes get upset when the wrong kind of people join their Boston clubs and quibble in the style of late George Apley about the rules when suit jackets must be worn. In Westerns, the heroes treat women folk with gallantry but tell them to stay back. In Easterns, Teresa rides shotgun and calls the opposition idiots. There's a reason Easterns never caught on in Hollywood. High tea in a drawing room is just not as compelling as high noon in the town square.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
His newest outdoor show, Up the Creek with George W. Bush.
Howdy, folks. I'm George W. Bush, and today I'm going to see if I can't land me a big old largemouth. And I ain't talking about Michael Moore. Nope. When I say largemouth, I'm talking about fishes, or as I call them, weapons of bass destruction. Get it? Bass destruction? Oh, hey, hang on, I got a bite. Yep, remember, fishes is like Osama bin Laden. Yeah, you got to reel them in nice and slow. Hey, look, here it is. What the? Oh, man, this is nothing but an old boot. You know something, folks? We really ought to do something about cleaning up our lakes and rivers. Nah.
When we come back, George trades in his reel for a rifle.
Yep. Me and my bird dog Barney are going to go hunting for spotted owl. Oh, I'm sorry, boy. Oh, don't worry about it. You got 3 more legs.
That's next on Up the Creek with George W. Bush.
Okay, it's 12:33 now. I got the thing back here briefly, but now it looks like it's having all kinds of problems.
Yeah, Eric says we're getting attacked by somebody here in South Florida, a Bell South customer, no less.
Really?
Yeah, they're launching what's called a DOS attack, which I just found out about, but I had a nice chat during the break about with Eric about what it is. Denial of service attack, which means that he's flooding our website with a whole bunch of requests on purpose to try to bind it up and cause it to slow down or crash.
He did?
Yeah.
It came back for like a fraction of a second there.
Mine's back up.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well, how come mine ain't?
I don't know. Maybe you need to do new medication.
Okay, 1 second.
Is it back up yet?
Well, I'm going to restart. So, in other words, some jackass down there, you're telling me that anybody can do this kind of crap?
I don't know about anybody. Obviously, anybody that knows how to do it can do it.
Well, isn't that a beautiful thing? Like I said, baseball bat, just take him and beat him to a bloody pulp.
I'm telling you, aluminum. Ever hear aluminum bat bounce off of somebody's head?
Yes, I broadcast UM baseball for 100 years.
No,
Don't you remember
bounce
that?
off
Aluminum
somebody's
bats.
head.
They're for wimps, man.
No.
No, you're wrong. Good, hard Louisville slugger.
All right.
At any rate. It's 26 till 1. We got the Marlins. Speaking of that, what a great segue. Marlins on deck at 1:30 both today and tomorrow from Chicago, from U.S. Cellular Field. The game is booming over there. And, of course, isn't it a shame? Now, let me ask you this. Of course, if they would have done that, then they would have been night games. It was a really good idea for them to stay there in Chicago. They're not going to change that one tomorrow, are they, and come back? No, that would be bad because you never know if that hurricane made a U-turn, right?
That's right. It's still
out there. It might just
there.
make a U-turn and S-turn and come right back in South Florida. I'm sure the weather fairy is trying to peddle that crap.
Eric says, yes, anyone can do it.
Well, isn't it to any website?
I guess.
Yeah, well, that's just a beautiful thing. It goes to show you, like I said, so little time and so many idiots. Is yours operating now?
Yes.
Good. And what do you do to stop it?
I guess that's Eric's job.
Well, Josh ought to be able to tell us. He's the computer maven.
I don't know.
Excellent answer.
Honest.
5670560, pound 560 for the Verizon wireless and Singular wireless lines. Wow. When that thing is finished rebooting and hooting, we'll see what's going on with mine. Okay? WQAM, hello.
All right.
That was it.
Good
that was
call.
our one call, and they expired. That was a medley of our call. Boy, there's something really... Yeah, I can smell it all the way up here. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
I'm just wondering, are you familiar with a program, I think it's Showtime, or one of the Showtimes, Penn and Teller, Bullspit?
No, heard about it, never seen it.
It's pretty interesting. They pick a topic and basically rake it over the coals, not unlike something you might do, but they got some good stuff to say. Last night they had 12-step programs for one segment, and body sculpting, basically religious fanatics in spandex, with their
Beauty.
trying to.
Okay, well, I'll troll for it. Thanks a lot, Pally. Have a great day. What do you say? 400 votes on the poll. I got it back. Well, Eric is going to have to do a little more explaining to us than that.
He will, report them and all that and see what happens. He has to
what do you mean report them? How do we know who it is? In other words,
he's got the IP address. He will report them to Bell South and hope they cancel the guy's account.
Oh, really? So in other words, we know where it's coming from.
He does, yeah. He has that ability.
Excellent. Good. Well, like I said, on Friday, what we're going to do, right there on the corner by Chuck Sub Center on the corner of Ives Dairy and 441,
right.
We're going to get the guy. We're going to tie him to a pole, to the light pole there on the corner of Ives Dairy, and we're going to have everybody come by and take turns. Your choice of aluminum bat or a Louisville Slugger wooden bat, whichever you prefer, whichever would feel. I mean, the problem with a wooden bat is it might break, and you probably get a worse sting from it in your hands, whereas the aluminum bat.
Right, even if it's dense, it's still good for a few more whacks.
Which people, ethnic, religious, etc., treat women the worst? Muslims, 278, blacks, 29, white trash, trailer park trash, 24, Orthodox Jews, 17, Hispanics, 14, 14 treat women like crap.
Increíble.
Catholic Church, 13, they all deserve it, 10, they all deserve it, 10, see? Japanese, 9, and Italians, only 6. Mamma mia, only 6. See, it should be higher than that.
Yeah.
Italian, the women belong in the kitchen, pregnant, barefoot, the whole deal, that real old-fashioned crap, like Mama Corleone. What was her name again? I was trying to think of that yesterday. Morgana, thank you. She's dead, by the way. Very sad. She's dead.
Yeah,
Love Morgana King. She, bamba bamba challa luna da ba da. That was so good. In fact, I think tomorrow before the ball game for our short show, we'll just play that whole, the wedding scene from The Godfather. We'll just play that music. And then every now and then, just to remind people of that other story I had.
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, we can play some.
Mamma mia.
Some drop-ins from The Odd Father. 5670560, pound 5. And by the way, 1 o'clock, you feel free to go to lunch or do something because we have nothing but spots for a half hour, basically before the ball game pregame show comes on. One thing we don't BS you, man. Well, we're like when we got nothing to offer you. I'll tell you. But be sure and listen to the spots and patronize our fine sponsors.
One of them might be funny.
Yeah. One of them might actually have something good to sell. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil. How's it going?
Yes, sir. Good.
All right. How about the preppy? Don't they treat their women like trash?
Who?
The preppy. Like the prep boys, the privileged ones.
Oh, wait a minute. How about jocks?
Okay.
Same category. Okay, thanks. I think I caught him off guard there. No, jocks, right?
Right.
Jocks and ex-jock. Just put jocks.
Jocks, we know. Once a jock, always a jock.
How about fraternity guys? Is what he's talking about.
I think that's what, he was talking about.
Yeah, that's what he had in mind.
Frat
Fraternity
boys,
guys. The ones that like to, frat boys. That's good.
Boys.
Frat boys and
yeah.
jocks, Josh. The guys that like to run naked together with each other on the beach.
You're listening
It's not a gay thing.
Neil Rogers. Gay. Exclusively.
On
560 QAM.
Today is a difficult place. People are tense, rude, and irritable. But now there's hope. It's the Teresa Heinz Kerry Book of Etiquette. Here's your chance to learn from one of the etiquette trendsetters of our day.
If someone irritates you, take a deep breath, smile at them, and then rip the heart out.
The Teresa Heinz Kerry Book of Etiquette gives you hints on how to handle awkward social situations.
Oh, just shove it.
The Teresa Heinz Kerry Book of Etiquette.
I don't have time for all this. Let me finish. Shut up. Hello, I am Teresa Heinz Kerry. I know 5 languages. That makes me smarter than you. I am a billionaire. That makes me richer than you. I have been married to 2 politicians. That makes me a whole lot unhappier than you. So just buy my damn book, sit down and shut up. And if you don't like what I am saying, shove it!
The Teresa Heinz Kerry Book of Etiquette is available wherever fine books.
Shut up!
Amen. And get that hair done up. Will you please, bitch? 12:45 at 5. So kind of tough on the first lady, future first lady. Remember that day that guy called? I was down there ripping the Laura Bush in the ass, well deserved. That syrupy ditto head. That's all she is. She's just another ditto head, especially that thing about stem cell research. What a lame ass bitch. And the guy calls, pretty tough on the first lady, honey. Oh, get lost, okay? Go out and squeeze your piece, you idiot. Somebody faxes in, says the Mormons. Now, you said before the show today, the Mormons, and I immediately thought of Marie Osmond. Mm-hmm. And she's had a lot of problems.
This is true. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, so figure that out. I didn't know the Mormons were bad to their women.
Well, the whole polygamy thing, remember, which they pretend is not a part of Mormonism anymore.
Right. Well, what's bad about that if the women get to share? Think about it. Oh, George is running out to join the Mormon church. There's one right down by my house, as a matter of fact, right down the block.
One is more than enough.
In your case, yeah. Anyway. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. Let's get a few really great calls on here this next 15 minutes, because after 1 o'clock, I would say, well, I mean, you never want to, make any preliminary judgments, but...
Forget about it.
I think what we ought to do in the 1 o'clock hour till 1:30 is just run our regularly scheduled, what do we got, 12 spots in here, and then whatever ones we still didn't get from the Howard Stern show this morning that they wanted to stick in our show. And we said, no way. Huh?
And then just leave. Well, except
and then they'll just leave. I mean, you talk about an abortion, man. They ought to be getting picketed by the Right to Life groups out there.
Eric says...
Yes?
That he called Bell South, got a very nice person on the phone, emailed all of the pertinent information to him, and the guy said that he'd get right on it.
Excellent, right.
How do you
so
like that?
You loser out there, you schmuck. We hope you're having a wonderful time, but we're going to nail your ass right to that lamppost and have everybody come in and give you a little spanking, okay?
Rectum.
Yeah, you'll be crying your eyes out. In fact, we might even turn Muff loose on you. How do you like that? While you're stripped stark naked to that lamppost.
Sports.
WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is this Neil?
Sounds like me, yeah.
Hey, Neil. Neil.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? What do you think about
WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. Hello.
Yeah, I have an important question. If the Marlins get 12 hits today, do you still get donuts?
That's a good question.
I don't get it.
You don't get it because you don't follow the Marlins, man.
No, I
you
don't
understand.
Can you explain it to me? Draw me a picture.
Maybe Josh can explain it to you.
Well, at the home games, if they get 12 hits, you get 12 free donuts from Krispy Kreme.
Right.
Ah.
And they're technically the home team.
Right.
So, good question.
That's an excellent question, and in fact, that may be the most important call we've taken this year. Because you know what they say at Krispy Kreme, you can't eat only 6. Wow. Well, we'll find out. I guess maybe the best way to do is go over to Krispy Kreme and find out, because certainly the Marlins are going to get more than 12 hits against the Expos, especially at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago.
Well, yeah, you need a ticket to get those donuts, so if you come back from Chicago with a ticket, why not?
Yeah. Well, what about if they didn't go to Chicago but they got a ticket? How about people that have season tickets, huh? They've already got their tickets, regardless of where the game is played. If they're the home team. You just got through saying that. We know that. It's a home game, but it's being played in Chicago. Right?
Right.
Well, I demand my damn donuts, and I want them right now, mister. WQAM, hello.
Can I speak to Neil?
No chance. No, now listen, and how come you're not at that game? Because you're supposed to be at all the home games holding Dave Van Boring's hands, trying to juice him up a little bit. It's a home game.
That's right.
But this company's too much of a cheap-ass outfit to send you up to Chicago. George can relate to that. He'll tell you.
Yeah, I know about it.
WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Did you see yesterday morning on Meet the Press, and this week they had Madeleine Albright and Colin Powell being interviewed? Did you see the difference in the way that Madeleine Albright, she speaks and she has like authority, and she makes you feel like,
Yeah, she's pretty butch, man. She could squash you with her toenail. That's right. She step on you, nobody ever see you again, like a cockroach. And he squirms and bada beep, bada boop, and yeah, I was not too happy with that information. He's just a shill. He ought to be ashamed of himself.
No, he's a Jamaican houseboy, like how Harry Belafonte said.
Yeah.
But and I don't know if
well, listen, say hi to Condoleezza. 567. See, there's a guy just trying to stir crap. You're not fooling anybody, pal. You're just trying to stir up a bunch of crap. I can smell it. Pound 560, and that's Dr. Rice to you, okay, Pally?
Yeah, that's right.
Dr. Rice, not Condoleezza. I don't think you know her that well yet to be calling her by her first name, no Condoleezza. Yeah. Bitch. Or coconut head. Oh, I do like this one, though.
Come, we'll take the oath, baby, let's hear Conda. No, she can't stonewall any longer. Feel the pressure of Congress getting stronger. Don't you fight, testify, Condoleezza Rice.
That's Dr. Rice to you, man. Look at her now. You know why some men treat women like crap.
Oh.
Now, let me ask you something. Does she have a husband, Dr. Rice?
I don't know.
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
No. Maybe she's married to her work.
Maybe.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, Pally.
I want to know what the stink is with the Howard Stern show. What are the guys bitching about? And, you know, they're not being very specific, and I'm listening to a half hour. I don't understand what they're crying about with the Howard Stern show.
What are you talking about?
He doesn't know he's on the air. This Yorker doesn't know he's on the air.
What are you talking about, Yorker?
Well, I listened to you guys for a half hour. You're crying about the Stern show and spots and this, that, or the other thing. I want to see what the big stink is, what the big to-do is.
Yeah, well, open up, blow your nose and take a good whiff, okay? We'll give you a big stink, schmuck. Is there a big stink going on? All I said is that we're not going to run the spots in our show. We're not going to allow the station to whore this show to run spots that don't run during the Stern show when he doesn't feel like taking a commercial break. That's their problem, okay? That's part of his show. If you don't want to take any commercial breaks, well, they're SOL, I guess, okay? Schmuck. And by the way, go back to New York. Oh, they won't take them in? A lot of those New Yorkers, man, that are not allowed back in. I don't want to mention no names.
Absolutely.
WQAM, hello.
Is this Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to, first of all, tell I greaseball, go back to New York, please.
Okay.
Secondly, I wanted to
go back
ask
to New York,
you a
greaseball.
question.
Yes.
Wanted to ask you a question. Where in the Florida driver's manual does it say that when it's raining really hard, like a torrential downpour type of thing, you have to have your flashers on? What's that all about?
Let me say this to you. Having your flashers on while you're driving is illegal. It is absolutely. Having your hazard lights on, it's illegal, and only a moron would do that. And there are a lot of them there, as you know.
In Miami-Dade County.
Amen.
And Broward and wherever.
And Broward and Palm Beach and all over that stupid-ass state, okay? That festering swamp. That's a good point, man. That really frosts my ass. You know what that means? That means I'm scared.
It means I'm a moron.
No, and I'm a moron. Well, that goes without saying. I'm scared. Well, if you're scared, get off the road. That's one of the biggest problems with Florida driving, which we've been talking about this 8 million times.
About 30, man.
Every day for the last 8 million years, but it ain't going to get any better, believe me. But the bottom line is, if you're scared, get off the road, including if you're over the age of 100 and you're sitting on 14 telephone books and you're trying to peer over the top of the steering wheel and you're going like about 25 miles an hour in the left-hand lane where the speed limit is like 45. And you're causing other people to damn near wreck each other because they're just desperately trying to get around you because they'd like to get home before midnight sometime and it's like about 7:30 in the morning. You idiots. Having your flashers on, as this man says, while you're driving, whether it's raining, clear pavement, whatever the say. I mean, if you have like a flat tire or something like that and you're pulling off the road, you could put them on for a second or two to alert other people that you got some kind of una problema grande.
It means you're stopped and in a hazardous
But it
situation.
basically means that you're stopped and you got a problem and you're off on the shoulder of the road or off to the right of the road or somewhere.
Right.
And that's what hazard lights are for, not for flashing them while you're driving. You don't have to turn on your hazard lights to let us know that it's raining a torrential downpour and that nobody can see where the hell they're going. We already know that, okay?
Oh, even if it's not a torrential downpour. If it's drizzling, they turn those things on.
Idiots. Morons. WQAM, hello. QAM, hello.
QAM.
What is it?
Yeah, how you doing, Neil?
Okay.
You have the people with the hazard lights on. And then you have the people with the headlights off. We need the light police. That's what I say.
The light police, okay. I think we've got a few of those. Lighting the loafer police. Yeah, that's what we need. The light police, man. Come nail in your ass. Put you right up, slam you right up against the damn rear ass of your car. Handcuff you, take you off, give you like 10 to 20, right?
Right.
Take that broomstick and give you an Abner Louima that you'll never forget. I bet you if you gave it a broomstick to Scaran, well, I don't want to go into it. Back in the day, I might discuss the possibilities.
You might discuss it?
Where she would put it.
Rectum.
At any rate, well, most witches have a broom closet. They got a big supply. Which people treat, and you notice we haven't had one woman call on this poll. How many months ago is it since we had a woman caller on this show?
About 30, man.
Right. In addition to which, for that Guido from New York, we'll talk about whatever the hell we want on this show. We don't need any instructions about what I say about the Stern Show, about Robin, about this. We'll say whatever we say, okay? Yeah. Blow it out your New York ass. Anyway, which group of people treat women the worst? 488 votes. Muslims, 335. There's Ivan.
As this deadly hurricane...
I apologize. I had Wolf Blitzkrieg's voice on there. I thought it was somebody who wanted to hear. Who knew something besides just another fascist. Muslims, 335. Blacks, 31. White trash, yahoos, 28. They all deserve it, 23. See how fast that's moving up there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Probably Tom Likas has sicked it on us. Orthodox Jews, 20. Yeah. Catholic Church, 16. Yeah, that women-hating misogynist piece of crap. Tom don't like
There's a reason he hates women.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is. Orthodox Jews, 20. Catholic Church, 16. Hispanic, 14. Japanese, 10. Italian, 7. Frat boys, 2. Jocks, 2. And Mormons, 1. I will say this. Us fags treat women great. You want to know why?
Why?
Because we don't want to screw them.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
1 to 2 hour.
His reality show is kicking butt on TV.
Another break already?
But his casinos have gone into bankruptcy. And all his debts he just cannot pay. And you can bet he won't be spending as much on hairspray. Oh, can't you see him standing there wondering what happened to all his wealth?
Loan me $50.
At least he still has his health. He'll have to fire himself. It's bad news for Trump. He feels like a chump. He might even jump from a tower called Trump. Yeah, he's taking his lump. Poor Donald Trump. He might as well jump from a tower called Trump. It's bad news for Trump.
One thing about this world, I'm going to tell you right now, boys and girls, there are people with great talent, and then there are people with great luck. I would prefer the great luck myself, you know?
Yeah, less work.
I wasn't necessarily thinking about him, but you know what? I was thinking about him. And many others. A lot of luck. A lot of mazel, as the Chinese say. Speaking of the Chinese, I don't see the Chinese on there. Don't they treat their women with great respect?
I don't know.
No.
Can't say I know any.
Anyway, I do know about those Chinese kitchens, some of them. Which people, ethnic, religious, etc., treat their women the worst? We get a pretty good 522, and not one woman called in on this, which is amazing. Huh. Muslims, 354. White trash, 31. Blacks, 31. They all deserve it, 25. It's climbing up fast. Orthodox Jews, 23. Catholic Church, 16. Hispanics, 15.
Increíble.
Japanese, 10. Italian, 7. Frat boys, 5. Jocks, 3. Mormons, 2. That jock thing, that's going to move up fast. Trust me. WQAM, hello. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's the deal? I just came back from New York. What's the deal with Howard Stern being on your station, taking away your time?
That's Greg Reed for you. Ask him.
Greg Reed?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Neil, I've been a long time listening to yours. I love listening to your show, but let me tell you something. Having Stern cut into your time is very wrong. I am going to call your station. Who should I
Good.
ask?
Call Greg Reed and bitch him out, baby.
Greg Reed. You got it, Neil.
Okay, thanks. He won't return your call, of course. He doesn't return anybody's calls. He's always in hiding. That's what Greg does best. Not managing, not decision-making, going into hiding, evading, avoiding, and lying. But other than that, he's a hell of a guy. Line 9, WQAM, hello.
Yes.
A lady.
Yes, it's a lady.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Okay, I'll give you my opinion on this survey. I guess maybe I'll say Muslims. Okay. That sounds like a safe bet. I am trying to find out. I'm trying to find online the sound drop for that little bit you do that's about 30, man, and I can't find it. Is there another name for that?
No. No, it's from a bit which I guess I'll play. It's the Puff Daddy on a Regis Philbin Millionaire Show.
Can you try and get it on the web so that maybe we can hear it?
No.
Can't get on the...
Now, I'm not the one that's playing no. Why are you playing no? Why can't we do that?
No, we can do that. It's just...
Well, we don't have to put the whole... We want to put the whole bid or just to drop it? Is that what you want?
Just to drop. We can do that.
I love that, because I keep telling it to everybody and they don't know what I'm talking about.
Where it says Neil Sounds on there, we'll get that on there if it's the last damn thing we do.
About 30, man.
Excellent. Thanks a lot.
Have a great day, Squirrel.
I love your show, and you know what?
Yes.
The Howard Neil doubleheader is great.
Excellent. See, there's a happy lady. All right, we hit the jackpot. Thanks. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, because we got to do a break. I told you. I warned you. I give you the MS, baby, the straight poop. Just like my good, close, personal friend. What have I got that under? Oh, I don't know what I got that under. Is it under Howard apologizes? Mo apologizes? What do I have that under? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know which apology you're talking about.
Oh, no. One moment, please. Okay, Howard David Drive. Damn. Well, I'll find it. Hey, if you're on the Atkins, the South Beach Sugar Busters or any low-carb, sugar-free diet, head for Delights of West Boca, because for years now, Delights has helped thousands of low-carb dieters achieve their weight loss goals, and now Delights of West Boca is celebrating their 14th anniversary with special discounts up to 50% off on low-carb products like Carbolite, Pure Delight, Carb Sense, and lots more. It is their anniversary super special. You can still save half off on all Atkins brands, food products, and supplements. Don't forget their great selection of low-carb bakery items like delicious cheesecakes, breads, rolls, fantastic brownies, and as always at Delights, you can try anything in the store before you buy it. Their staff knows low-carb dieting like nobody else nowhere, and they're open every day at Delights till 10 p.m. Don't forget their guaranteed lowest price policy on all Atkins, Carbolite, and Pure Delight products. Delights of West Boca bets Greg's life on it that they won't be undersold. Delights on the northeast corner of Glades and 441 right next to Boston Market, or call them toll free at 1-877-LOW-CARB, LOW-CARB, or on the web it's lowcarb.com. Don't forget, there's only one Delights of West Boca, and it's your official Atkins Retail Center.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
2 years later and say, it took me a little while, I'm a little slow learner, but Neil, I apologize.
It's radio.
You are the truth.
Absolutely.
About 30, man.
Now you're the voice of the stinking Panthers. For as long as the fans can stand you, scream like gold in your balls. No one around here is gonna miss you. Get that obnoxious little doo-doo out of here. You scored hopes we're alive. Like Chelsea, like
Eleven after 1 at 560 WQAM. I'll just slip in like one or two real quick things here. We just don't have no time, folks.
But I did find time during that break to send Eric the About 30 drop, so it'll be on there in about 30 minutes or so, I guess.
Thank you so much. There you go, ma'am. You ask and you get it. See how wonderful we are here on the Neil Rogers Show. A little we have left of it, but that's okay. Just don't butcher up the little bit of the show we got left, okay, Greg? Okay, screw in, you grave-robbing bastards, you. The Bush administration's 3-year war on terrorism has amounted to a major failure of leadership and makes Americans more vulnerable rather than more secure, according to a new report by Foreign Policy in Focus, FPIF, a network of mainly progressive policy and security analysts. The report, A Secure America in a Secure World, concludes that Washington's invasion of Iraq in 2003 has proven counterproductive to U.S. anti-terrorism efforts and that the administration has failed to protect likely future terrorist targets at home, such as seaports and chemical plants, like Senator Bobby Graham keeps screaming in the but nobody's listening to him. Not only has Bush failed to support effective reconstruction in Afghanistan, but his war and occupation in Iraq have made the U.S. more vulnerable and have opened a new front and recruiting tool for terrorists while diverting resources from essential homeland security efforts, according to the 50-page report, not to mention all the resources from Afghanistan, where the warlords are back in charge and it's eye-poppy all over the place. Moreover, the administration has undermined the very values it claims to be defending by, among other steps, weakening the rule of both international and domestic law, restricting civil liberties at home, and supporting dictatorial allies abroad, according to the report, which was issued on the eve of the 3rd anniversary of al-Qaeda's terrorist attacks on New York and Pentagon on Saturday. In other words, on Friday, this be coming out. How do you like that? We don't. Now, how come John Kerry isn't screaming and yelling these things? He's starting to make like a little, you know, when like Rip Van Winkle after those 20 years were up, when he started like stirring a little bit, like he was in a deep coma for 20 years. And the same with Fred Gwynn, a.k.a. John Kerry. Same thing. 113 at 560 WQAM. You know, Dry Concepts for a long time, over 25 years, they've been helping keep your carpets and mine clean and healthy. And now the folks at Dry Concepts stand ready to help you return your house to normal if you had water damage from Hurricane Francis. Dry Concepts has made arrangements to be a staging area for water damage restoration services. Help came in from all kinds of northern states with an abundance of equipment to help with the restoration process. So if you need help, here are these phone numbers you ought to be calling. The main number at Dry Concepts is toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071. If you can't get through on that number, we've got a couple of more for you. 3 as a matter of fact. 954-214-6924 or 954-444-9276 or 954-214-6923. Again, if you had water damage from Hurricane Francis, Dry Concepts is on call to help you restore your home back to its normal state and looking brand spanking new again. Call that main number toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
I urge everyone to complain to this station.
All right, let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Puff Daddy, sitting in the chair. I'll call you Puffy.
Yo, man, yo.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here's your $100 question. Finish this nursery rhyme.
All right.
Hickory dickory blank. Is it A, dock, B, pier, C, marina, or D, inlet?
Whoa, man. Is this a $100 question right here?
You're kidding me, right?
This is $100.
For $100.
This ain't the $1 million question?
Well, this is the first one.
Man.
It's only for $100.
Is this a black thing?
Would you like to use a lifeline?
Yeah, all right. What do I got?
Well, we have the Ask the Audience, the 50-50, and the Phone a Friend.
Ask the Audience. Nah, too many white people in here. 50-50 ain't gonna help me. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna phone a friend.
Gonna phone a friend on the $100 question, finishing the nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
All right, who are we gonna call, Puppy?
Oh, my boy, Old Dirty Bastard.
Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah, Dirty we call him.
Our friends from AT&T will get Old Dirty on the line, and hopefully he can help you.
Yo.
Old Dirty.
Yeah, man.
Regis Philbin from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. How are you?
Aight.
Got your friend here, Puff Daddy.
Yo, Dirty, what's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
All right.
What's up,
Old Dirty, Puff Daddy's in a little bit of trouble here on the $100 question.
Ain't the first time, man.
First question, and the next voice you hear will be his. He'll come on the line. He'll ask you the question. He'll give you 4 possible choices. Are you set?
Hey, man.
Next voice you hear will be his, and 30 seconds begins now.
What's up? Yo, Dirty, finish this off for me, all right?
Hey, man.
Hickory dickory blank. Is it A, dock, B, pier, C, merino, or D, inlet?
Oh.
Come on, man, I don't got much time.
Man, I know this, man. I know it. I think it's pier.
Pier, you sure?
About 30, man.
This is a lot of money, man.
30, about 30.
All right, man, thank you very much.
All right, man. About 30, man.
Time's up. Old Dirty said pier. You still have 2 lifelines left. We are on the $100 question.
You know what, Regis?
Want to poll the audience?
No, I'd like to add a lifeline.
Actually, no, there's only 3 lifelines. You've used 1, you have 2 left.
No. I get another lifeline. It's a brand new one to the game.
And what is that, Puffy?
It's called Shoot the Host.
Puffy, you can ask the audience.
I call it Shoot the Host.
Puffy, use the 50-50.
What's the answer?
Puffy, it's Doc. It's A. It's Doc.
My final answer's Doc.
It's Doc, and it's a good one. You got $100.
Run, you white boy, run!
Go right!
About 30, man.
121 at 560 WQAM. Boy, are we short on time or what?
Yes.
Yeah. Better talk faster. Expos and the Marlins at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. Okay,
exposing the Marlins. What?
What'd I say?
Exposing the Marlins.
Exposing the Marlins and exposing Paul's crotch. Which group is worse to women, treats them like crap? 581 votes. Muslims 390. Man, they got it licked. 67%, more than 2/3. Blacks 35. They all deserve it, 32. That's climbing up the list. White trash 31. Orthodox Jews 28. Hispanic 16. The Catholic Church 16. Japanese 12. Frat boys 7. Italian 7. Jocks 5. Only 5 say jocks? Give me a freaking break.
Well, this is your jock sniffing station.
Oh, I forgot about that. We can't knock the jock. And Mormons, of course, too. And we certainly don't want to knock Jay Fiedler.
Oi!
He had no business getting benched in that game. What do you think?
Josh?
No, I'm just saying it. I'm just talking out loud.
Just joshing?
Because it's always the same old neurotic crap over and over and over again. You know, in South Florida? Oh, what are we going to do? As opposed to that guy who had had his thumb right in. Aren't we blessed here in South Florida, Jim? Remember that? How could you forget?
Oh, never. I'll never
Till they stick my fat old tubby ass, my pimply old ass into a box. I could never forget that brilliant call on the Mad Dog Show. Aren't we blessed down here, Jim?
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Marlins, give me another beer.
Hi, this is O.J. Since I've been released from jail, I like to keep track of my bitches. So I recommend to you new O.J. Simpson's Bitch Jack for Women. Believe me, brothers, you won't get jacked with Bitch Jack. Just attach the small homing device to your bitch's legs, and you can track her all around town. And just in case she's cheating, she'll get a beating. You see, when your woman be messing around, new Bitch Jack for Women lets out an inaudible beeping sound that only you can hear. And once they catch her, she's all yours.
Excuse me, Mr. Simpson. We tracked down your old lady with a white man. What shall we do with her?
Why, thank you, officer. I'll handle this. You bitch. Don't you know I'm tracking you with Bitch Jack? I'm gonna cut your throat, you bitch. I'm gonna...
So remember, your hoes won't get very far with O.J. Simpson's new Bitch Jack for Women. Hey, just because O.J.'s free, don't mean your bitches got to be free, too.
Bitch Jack.
Here's the real name of that stadium the White Sox play in Chicago. You know what it is? Itchy Coo Park. Isn't that where they play? Marlins and the Expos at the U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago is coming up next. We got Mo Howard David tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow sometime between 10 and whatever, sometime.
Tell you why it's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful.
I have no line.
They all come out to prove about life.